So I kind of heard a voice saying, make a YouTube video showing what I learned on my Udemy course. And so I contribute that voice to God, the voice of God. I don't really know who else it would be. And then also, one the last video that I made for YouTube is saying that how, eventually when I pray so much, it's obvious that God is going to hear my prayer, or he knows what I'm struggling about and he cares. The whole point of the Bible is God caring. And I always like saying that my choice is choosing blessing and choosing life, not death and destruction. So my choice is blessing and life. So anyway, what I learned from the Udemy course, it was just about a short course on CPR. I wrote a journal about it. I took notes about it. So basically, there are three things that your baby or my baby can run into problems with, and there are ways to combat it. And so, one of the things is choking. So babies, they tend to find out things by trying to eat something. And so, one way is they might choke on something small. There's a lot of packages that have, this could be a potential choking hazard for a baby. They have that label on there. And so, one thing to prevent choking is, um, one is clearing the area of those small choking hazards. But two, if the baby is choking, you flip the baby over where their eyes are looking towards the ground, and you basically, not in a very hard way, but you thump their back, and you're holding your probably left hand on their stomach, and with your right hand, as the baby is over your knee a little bit and looking down, you thump their back and get out the choking hazard. But you also definitely inform someone around you that you are experiencing difficulty with your baby, and you then tell them, hey, will you, and you always are supposed to be calm, and you say, hey, will you please call 911? I'm experiencing some trouble with my baby, and I need you to call 911 and then come back and assist me with my baby. And then you proceed to do the choking maneuver, where you try to get the object out. And then if the thumping doesn't work, you then they try the other way is to flip the baby over where the baby is looking up, and you try to press the object, using two fingers, and you press their diaphragm and try to get the object that's in their mouth to surface, so you can pick the surface object out of their mouth. But I don't personally like that way. It looks like it could be a potential problem if the baby is choking and they're flipped up where their eyes are looking towards the ceiling, and you're trying to get the object out of their mouth, and basically they're working against gravity. And so that's one way for choking anyway. I'm not necessarily saying and Lord willing, there won't be any emergency situation, but a Bible verse that comes to mind is, I just was listening to Proverbs, where if you are righteous, if you're, definitely doing your best for righteousness as well, your children will be blessed after you. And if I don't know that exact verse, I think it's notoriously hard for a lot of Christians to remember the exact Bible verse, but you can Google, your children will be blessed after you, from Proverbs, and try to find that Bible verse. Okay, I won't go through all of them, but the next thing is if your baby is so having a seizure. So that one basically is you basically um, want to grab a blanket. You want to clear the area of any objects that could be dangerous because the baby would be just making sort of very, I guess, bigger movements with their arms. And so you want to clear the area of any objects that the baby could potentially hit and cause even more of a problem. And you don't want to restrain the baby if the baby is having a seizure. You just want to provide a soft, like blanket area, but you don't want the blanket to be around the baby. You don't want to hold the baby down from doing the seizure movements. And then again, you want to tell someone that your baby is having a problem. They said the signs of a seizure could be definitely fatigue, definitely something about the baby holding their breath and their face becoming discolored. I'm not looking at my notes right now. I'm still making bracelets, so I'm kind of multitasking. But they say that basically you want to put a blanket around the baby, but not tightly, not a loose blanket. And I don't remember everything for the seizure one, but the next thing is CPR. So the reasons you would perform CPR is almost like a seizure, but if your baby is not responding, the baby is laying down, maybe on a flat surface or maybe not a flat surface, and the baby is seemingly breathing, but is just laying, and the baby is not moving too much, or again, is not very responsive. And so what you would do is, off of memory, you would first check the baby, and it's almost like checking the vitals of the baby. And so how they did it in the video is you go up to baby and you say, hey baby, are you okay? And then you sort of tickle their feet, and you see if they respond to the tickling of the feet. And then after that, you check for their breathing. So you lightly hold one hand behind their head to stabilize their head, and you hold fingers up to their nose to see if there's air coming out. And then after that, you let someone know around you, hey, will you please call 911? My baby is having some difficulties, and then will you come back to assist me with my baby? And then after that, you proceed to do the baby CPR, and basically you make sure the baby airway is clear, and then you breathe down, I think about 5 times on the baby's mouth. And then from that, you listen to see if the baby is breathing after that. And then you take 2 fingers and place them on the diaphragm of the baby, and you basically pump down about 30, they said about 30 different times with 2 fingers, and they said about 1/3 of an inch in depth you go down to pump near the heart of the baby. And then you listen for breathing, and then you breathe on the mouth again about 5 times, and then you repeat that, and you basically repeat that cycle of pumping air into the baby's lungs, and then pushing down on their diaphragm very lightly, not too roughly. And you basically repeat that until the ambulance gets there, until the baby starts to be responsive. And if the baby is responsive, you put the baby in recovery mode holding. And basically recovery mode holding is holding the baby at the side, on the side angle on your stomach area, and your hand is, I think, between the baby's legs, and your hand is between the baby's legs, holding their neck on their back, and the baby is sideways against you, and that is, from memory, is called the recovery position of a baby. And so, but that's if the baby is responding to your CPR. If the baby is not responding to the CPR, you keep doing CPR until you get exhausted, or you have someone else who's next to you, which most likely you should always have someone next to you. You have them take over once you say, "Hi, I'm gonna need you to take over once I get tired," and then they proceed to continue to do CPR until the ambulance arrives. So those are some, this is about 11-minute video, but those are some different aspects of doing CPR for the baby. And again, I'm talking normal. I think sometimes my YouTube video, it makes my voice or the way I'm talking sound a little bit different, but I hope this video comes out clear. But that was basically the steps to do if your baby is either unresponsive, is choking, is having a seizure. And I know I didn't really explain the seizure thing fully, but you always want to call 911, even if you have a hint of, something wrong. I know that 911 is there for a reason. And of course, with the baby, you may not, the baby, they said, may not always show very clearly, like an adult human being, that something is wrong. They do show it, but you always want to be on the up and up. And I'm like, my parents have, can attest to here today. Just a few days ago, I'm very quick to call 911 at the sign of, for me it was coronavirus, but I'm very quick to, test about something, or go to the doctor to see if something's wrong. And, you always want to, be on the up and up, especially dealing with those serious complications, especially with a newborn baby. So I found the course pretty helpful. I'm probably going to take another course about something else. I saw baby sign language, communicating with your baby. And then my mom was saying not to really take the cooking your own baby food class, because, you might mess up the nutrition or something. So, yeah, all right. Thanks so much for listening, YouTube followers. And thank you for, if you like any of these videos, I know some of them are just kind of the live stream, but if you like my actually recorded videos, almost like this one, sometimes I make scripted videos where I'm literally just reading kind of a script. It's almost like a speech, but I don't like using the word speech. But all right, thank you so much, and I will talk with you later. I've made 2 bracelets over the course of this moment, or at least one. But okay, see ya. Thank you. All right, bye.